all you had to do was work these last few years, you could be a millionaire. You could save your mother from being coarsened in the labor market. You could prolong the life of your loved ones with medical care. You could literally keep your parents alive longer, and you still didn't try. You still couldn't be motivated. Extra years of consciousness for the people who birthed you is somehow not as important to scumbag losers like you. And you wonder why I end up in a position where I think, do poor people even ever deserve to win? I have been telling you, I have been repeating for the last 3 years how important it is that you make some money, get spare finance, stop trying to trade and be a smart ass. Instead, dedicate yourself, learn how to make money online, dedicate yourself, get spare money, and buy Bitcoin. I have been saying it every single day for 3 years. And I've been saying it because the outcome was always certain in my mind. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 4,000. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 8,000. I was telling you this when Bitcoin was 16,000, all the way up to 60, 70, 80,000. I have been repeatedly saying the exact same thing because the outcome was certain. And even though none of you disagreed with me, you didn't argue with me, you knew that my thesis, you knew that my opinion on the future was correct, you still didn't bother to work and get money. You knew your money would amplify. Do you understand the cowardice and laziness which plagues your blood? If you understand that the money you make today, you can double it in a few short months, and you still don't try, there must be something clinically wrong with you people. So then I used to motivate you guys. I was like, well, let me motivate them instead. But no matter how hard I scream down the side of the mountain, climb, do this, put your foot there, don't do that, you'll slip and fall, climb, it's great up here, you can make it. You just don't seem to want to try. If there is a guaranteed chance to double all of the extra money you make, and you still don't try, what more can I say within the confines of human language that will motivate you? Perhaps God himself simply has a plan for certain people, and the plan for you was eternal regret and never-ending serfdom. Perhaps the plan for people like you was simply for you to perma-fail and lay as testament to how a life can be built on ignorance, laziness, and arrogance, so that people look at you as a warning sign of what not to be. Perhaps that's why you exist. Men like you exist as a warning sign to all other men. Do not end up like that, because I've been telling you for years. And now that Bitcoin's at $100,000, do you know what message I keep getting sent? Andrew, how do I make some money? I need Bitcoin. Andrew, can you motivate me? Why weren't you motivated when Bitcoin was 8,000? Why weren't you motivated when you stood a chance? Why weren't you motivated when I spoke before? Why must reality slap you in the face so brutally for you to wake up? You're the kind of dickhead who drives his car on the ice and slides all over the place and won't slow down. It's only when you hit a tree and lose a leg do you sit there like a pirate, a dumb pirate with a wooden leg. You sit there and go, I might slow down next time. You only learn lessons the hardest possible way. And here I am, respected as one of the greatest orators in the English language, trying my best to convince you to win. I'm not trying to convince you to lose. I'm trying to convince you to do something you should already want to do, which is win. And I can't seem to get you to take action and move and work. This outcome was certain. You knew it. I knew it. and you still just laid in bed at night after an average day of meager efforts and slept like a baby. You went to bed broke and slept like a baby. If I knew I was going to wake up broke, I wouldn't go to sleep. I don't want to wake up broke, ever. So if I feel like closing my eyes and having a little bit of rest is going to lead to me waking up broke, I ain't closing my eyes. Money must be made. And this Bitcoin opportunity is actually one of a long string of opportunities that you have squandered in your insignificant, unremarkable, meager existence. Nobody knows who the you are. Nobody knows your name. Women aren't begging for your children. You're a nobody. And you're a nobody because every single time God gives you a chance, you ignore it. Even worse, when you are given guaranteed wins, like earn money, buy Bitcoin, you do nothing. When winners like me, we attack with absolute vigor when the win isn't even guaranteed. I've tried harder for most things in my life with a fraction of a % of a chance for success than you've ever tried for anything with a guaranteed payoff. I used to go to work not knowing if I get paid. You are guaranteed to get paid. We are telling you it is guaranteed that there is a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, but you can't seem to finish the walk. You are a fuck up. If you have less than 100 Bitcoin, you are an idiot because you've had 3 years of me telling you what to do. 3 years of me guaranteeing you the future. And it's only just begun because Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. And then what will you message me? Andrew, I need some money. I need some Bitcoin. Andrew, can you motivate me? And here's the impasse. Here's the wall I can't seem to break. And I can't seem to motivate you to win. What am I even talking for? Why am I even here? What's the point of any of this? You should look in the mirror and feel a deep sense of shame. You should think of all those days you have wasted, all those late mornings you laid in, all of the mistakes you've made across the last 2 years. Because if you made none of those mistakes and you tried instead and added it all together, you would have bought Bitcoin. And now that's $100,000. You would be rich forever. You could be rich for the rest of your life if you had just tried for the last 2 years. The time's already gone. The time's been spent. You can't even tell me what you did with it. You didn't work. You didn't get rich. Cool. What did you do the last 2 years? I went on holiday. Okay. That's 5 days out of 600. What did you do for the rest of them? Well, I was trying. Clearly not. You weren't. And you know what? The number one measure of a winner is self-reflection. When you're a winner, you analyze your performance in all things. If you're a grandmaster at chess, after you play a game, win or lose, you go through the game to identify mistakes, to see what you did right, to see what you did wrong. You talk to other grandmasters. You get their take on the position. If you're a fighter, you watch your fights back. And here you are living your life. You're not even reflecting. Stop for a second and think about what I just said to you. All of the time you have wasted. Now you feel FOMO. If you would have just acted when I was imploring you to act, if you would have just done what you knew needed to be done, you would be sitting in a completely different situation right now. Your bloodline would be financially free for eternity. Your great grandchildren, who you may never meet, would know your name because you're the one who saved the family. Instead, you will die insignificant and be forgotten by your own blood because you are another pointless cog, which is your legacy, which is your bloodline. Your dynasty leads to nowhere, and you come to me to motivate you. How the can I motivate limp losers like that? What do you want me to say? I gave you a guaranteed win. I told you what was going to happen. I gave you a way to make the money. I came on here every day and told you to fucking work. I gave away free Lamborghinis. I gave away free crypto. I kept saying, I'll give you the world. The pot of gold's at the end of the rainbow. I kept making the rainbow shorter and shorter. I kept making the pot of gold closer and closer. No matter how close I dragged it, you just stood there like a dipshit. Oh, yeah, but it's over there. Maybe you're all just born to fucking lose. Maybe there's nothing I can say. It doesn't matter how I preach. You losers are losers by design. It's in your DNA. It's in your blood. It's in your cells. You can't change it. No matter what situation I put you in, you'll find a way to lose. And then I'd look up to the sky, look up to God and say, was he just born to lose? There is no other justification for your monumental impotence and lack of action besides the fact that your DNA is literally enlaced with loserdom. I don't understand you. The second best time to get started is now. I will say to you, you've missed a lot of chances, but there is still a chance left. Because if you get serious now and you start working now, you can get Bitcoin at 100,000 before it goes to 1 million. And you can still save your bloodline. And you'll sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then 16 minutes after this stream ends, you're going to be back on Steam, downloading COD to run around and get shot in the head like a dipshit. You're unsavable. And then, because I talked about reflection, I also have to reflect myself. Have I become elitist now? As a man who's climbed the mountain from the very bottom, from the lowest echelons of poverty, from more poor than most of you have ever been. There was no food in my fridge. Most of you are starting higher than I ever started. And now I'm at the top of the mountain looking down going, do these people just deserve to stay on the cliff face waiting for an avalanche to annihilate them? Maybe they deserve boredom. Maybe poor people deserve to be poor. Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are lying. Maybe they're just lazy, stupid, arrogant idiots that nobody could help anyway. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends, and they lie, and they cheat, because good people who work hard seem to always win. Why is it when I meet a good person who listens and works hard, they always win? By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. That is a logical conclusion. If every good person with a good work ethic ends up a winner, and you're not a winner, then you're not a good person with a good work ethic. You're a dipshit. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. When Bitcoin hit $100,000, me, the man with over 1,000 Bitcoin, was mad at himself for not having more. Because I could have had more. I could have taken one pump less and all those bitches and added it all up and saved hours and made some money. You don't even have 10, and you don't feel any shame in your heart. There's nothing bothering you deep inside. You sleep just fine. Everything's okay, is it? It's all, oh, well, I do. The fuck is wrong with you? I don't understand. At the time when Bitcoin was affordable, your arrogant ass, oh, I somebody buy Bitcoin, but I'm going to buy a beer. All right, I'm going to buy a beer instead. I'm going to go movies with my girlfriend. That probably left you now. Who were you in 2010? You don't even know. She left you. She's someone else. You were spending your time with her instead of getting rich. Think about the woman you were with 5 years ago. All the time you spent listening to her crap and taking her on dates. You could have been focused on something important and got rich. You wasted your time. You could have been a somebody. Now you're messaging me asking for a time machine. I have every car that's ever been manufactured. I got vicuña sweaters. If it can be bought, I bought it. There's no time machines. Next time your girlfriend says, let's go movies, are you going to sit and think, wait, I went movies with a bitch in 2015 instead of focusing on getting rich and buying Bitcoin. And now I'm not rich. Now this new bitch trying to make me go to a movie again. I'm still not rich, need money instead, and say, no movies. I'm locked in. I'm in the trenches. I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the fruits of my labor or be gone. You dummies have probably just not learned a thing. And you're not even looking in the mirror going, how did I make this mistake? What did I ignore? Why wasn't I motivated? How did I not have money? When did I not listen? Did I see these tweets? If not, why didn't I see them? If I did see them, why didn't they implore me to action? Why didn't I sell my car and buy Bitcoin? Why? How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? How can I change things for the future? What plans and systems can I put in place to prevent me from being a loser anymore? I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel shame. I feel dirty. I fucked up. I'll never fuck up again. I need to learn to trust myself. This can't be repeated. I have to make something of myself for my bloodline. Something must change. No.
Well, Bitcoin price is up. I wish I had some money. Can you motivate me, Tate?
So when Bitcoin gets to $200,000 and you dedicate yourself to doing whatever it takes to win for this next period of monumental rebalancing in the financial markets of Earth, what will you do between $100,000 and $200,000 that is different than what you did between 0 and 100,000? Tell me in the chat, what are you going to do for the next $100,000 increase that is different than what you did for the last one in which you failed monumentally? Say it to the universe. Say it to me. Speak it out loud. You tell me what's going to be different this time so that when the price reaches 200,000, you're no longer wallowing in self-regret. You're no longer living with the stinging pain afforded to you by the bittersweet hindsight, rain dance, work harder, try harder, work and buy, lock in, more fucking action. Because you can't buy Bitcoin without any money. Forget all excuses and act with speed when Bitcoin gets to $200,000. And let me be honest with you. I don't have a time machine. I don't know when it will happen. All I know is that it will happen. And when it happens, whether it's in 2 months or 2 years, I'm going to sit down and ask you if you have tried your best or if you have once again failed. Because I haven't stopped stacking. I haven't stopped working. I haven't slowed down. I haven't got lazy. I'm still trying to get more. More of everything. More houses, more boats, more cars, more children, more Bitcoin, all of it. And you're going to have to answer to yourselves in the mirror when Bitcoin is at 200,000, because you've once again been warned. You can no longer claim or feign ignorance. There's no more excuses of I didn't know. You now know what I was telling you was a certainty has come true. The future is set. The win is guaranteed. I'm not asking you to be a hyper-competent predator, an apex like myself, who is prepared to attack tasks with absolute vigor, even with uncertain outcomes. I'm asking you to put in a little bit of effort to a task where the outcome is certain. Surely that's more inspiring when you know the finish line contains a pot of gold. Unlike the monumental tasks I undertook in my life, where I reached finish lines and there was nothing there. I don't even ask that of you. You're not man enough for challenges like those. You are not built the way I am built. You could never endure or undertake the pain and suffering required to reach a finish line, unsure of whether you will be rewarded. I don't even ask scum like you for dedication like that. Instead, I ask you to reach a finish line with a guaranteed consolation, a guaranteed result and reward and prize. Guaranteed, it is sitting there. That's all I ask of you. It's all your bloodline will ask of you. It's all your family ask of you. It's all your grandchildren will ask of you. Everyone will be saying to you, why didn't you buy Bitcoin when it was cheap? Now it controls the world. Back then it was cheap. Why didn't you buy it? What's your answer going to be? I didn't know. I knew, but I didn't have any money. Well, why didn't you go and work harder? I was tired. What excuse are you going to give on your deathbed for your monumental failures? How can you even justify them? What excuse can you even fathom? I'm disgusted with you people. And the fact you're not disgusted with yourselves is genuinely concerning. It's worrying. You've seen the crackhead on the street, right? And he stinks as shit, shits his pants. And you look at him and you smell him and you go, why are you not repulsed by yourself, your own actions, your own situation you find yourself in? How your presence and existence pollutes other people's experiences of sentience. How can you live this way? You stink. I don't understand how it doesn't bother you that everyone's bothered by you. Why aren't you bothered by yourself? You're covered in puke and feces. That is how the successful people view people like you. Because we look at you and say, how the fuck do you just fuck up every day? And you just wear it on your t-shirt almost with pride like it's fine. You stink as shit. You're poisoning my experience of humanity, my experience of consciousness, because I have to stand next to you. You're a lazy, insignificant dipshit. And no matter how hard you're told to take a shower, you just don't seem to want to do it. And nobody really understands why, besides what's ever inside of your crazy loser DNA. You have no excuse to not make money. So all you have to do is try. No excuse to not take a shower, crackhead. There's a shower right here. I'll give you a shower. Please come have a shower. And the crackhead says, no, I don't want a shower. Why? I'm tired of yelling at you people. And I'm tired of trying to make losers be something else. There's only so much you can do to inspire a sheep to become a wolf. This $100,000 Bitcoin price should have woken you the fuck up. I really hate repeating myself. I find repeating myself insulting. If I say something and somebody doesn't listen to me, I consider it very much like a slap in the face. It's like I was speaking words at you in a language that I know you understand, and you ignored the words. And it bothers me deeply. I really don't like repeating myself ever, but it feels like I have to with you people. Just like I told you to get Bitcoin a few years ago. Let me tell you something else. Something I've already said. So if you feel like you've missed out on Bitcoin, you haven't. You have work to do. Let me give you one more piece of advice. And listen to me carefully, because this will be a video that will be clipped and I will play it back in 2 years from now. And you will kick yourself. Listen to me now. Listen in your heart. Listen to me. Because in 2 years, when I play this video back, you're going to hate yourself for your lack of action. So listen to me clearly. I know things you do not know. And you have been fairly warned. So in 2 years, when I ask you why you did not act, you have no excuse. You can pull out your ass. You were told directly from me. You need to work. You need to dedicate yourself. You need to take these next few months seriously. 2025 has to be a year of winners. You need to invest in Bitcoin. You need to stop being a idiot. You need to reflect on your life. You need to feedback. You need to analyze all of the mistakes you've made. You need to stop wasting your time, stop being a dipshit, and stop relying on me for temporary bursts of motivation so that you can focus on something for once in your life. Because time is running out. I don't like repeating myself. Now it is Darwinism. Those who do not benefit do not deserve to benefit. I'm done talking. Act or fail. planet has something to prove. If you walk through life and feel like you have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. If you wake up each day and go, I don't owe anybody anything, I don't have to prove anything to anybody, then you are a loser because you are absolutely not incorrect. You must prove yourself to other people. You must prove yourself to your bloodline, as we just discussed. You must prove yourself to God. God hates the lazy. He can't stand them. If he gives you all these genetic dispositions and these natural God-given gifts, if you have 2 arms and 2 legs and you can think, and you're not trying your absolute best, that's the reason you're not lucky. He doesn't like you. He likes the people which show him the beauty of his own creation. He likes to give somebody building blocks and them to build something amazing. It's the best thing about being a man. You get to build who you are, right? You can decide if you want to be a funny comedian or a musician or a kickboxing world champion or fight the Matrix. You can decide whatever you want to be. God loves to see that. Those people, for some reason, seem to be enormously lucky, right? The person who goes, I don't have to prove anything to God. I don't owe all of my ancestors any effort. You know, for 5,000 years, people were dodging saber-toothed tigers and catching the plague and running from Genghis Khan just for my stupid ass to be born. I don't owe them anything. I don't owe them a thing because I want to play video games. These people are fucking losers. You should walk through Earth with force inside of you. As I walked into this hotel reception, everybody looked. Not because they know who I am, but because as I move, even if it's behind their head, people feel something and they go, it's an energy that comes from brutal competence. It's almost like an evolutionary thing where a rabbit can just smell a fox. It just knows. That's what happens when a predator walks in a room, even amongst humans. You pay attention next time you're in a restaurant. If a man who's truly dangerous walks in, nearly every other man kind of looks up at the same time. You feel it. You need to or you don't survive. We've evolved with that to live. That's who I am. I couldn't imagine not being that man. I've done that because I've been trying to prove myself to my lineage my entire life. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I wake up and think, fuck, more. I'm in fantastic shape, 4 times world champion, fighting the Matrix out here by myself, more. I will have to be braver. I must try harder. All I do is prove myself. So when I hear people go, I don't have nothing to prove, then you're a fucking loser. Peasants have never felt like they needed to prove anything. But kings felt like they needed to go and conquer land. Isn't that it's coincidental that the king, who already had it all, felt like he needed to go to some far-flung land and conquer it and take it and prove he's the king. But the peasants, oh, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You're a fucking loser then. You're a dummy. I absolutely and utterly completely have everything to prove to everybody all of the time. That's who I am. I will prove anything to anybody. If I sit and say X, I will prove it to anyone. I can be checked at any time. If someone would have come up to me in that lobby and argued with my ideas, I would have proved that my ideas are sound. If they would have attacked me, I would have destroyed them completely and absolutely. That's who I am. So yes, I have a lot to prove, my friend.
The answer is you need to get rich. You need to get a network. I know this is all I talk about, but I believe it is my mission to try and defeat the Matrix. And you defeat the Matrix with truth and love because the Matrix relies on hate and deception. I love you enough to tell you the truth. And the truth is that you're fucked if you're not rich. I don't have any answer for you. People say to me, Andrew, what do I do if I'm not rich? I don't know. I don't know what you will do if you don't have a bunch of money because it's going to become harder and harder. And in the next 30 years, unless you're rich, you are finished. You are done. The only thing I can do is try my best to teach you how to make money. That's all I can do for you. If you're prepared to work hard, I can guarantee you'll make enough money to afford carbon credits. If you're not prepared to work hard, if you're a quitter, then you are going to be a slave and your bloodline are going to be enslaved for the rest of human time. That is the bottom line to it. There's nothing else to say. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to decide if you want to escape or not. If you want to escape, ladies and gentlemen, the things I'm telling you now on a public Rumble stream, imagine what I will be saying in my private network. Imagine what I'll be talking about inside the war room
gold
or the real world. You can't just sit and coast any longer. You have to take drastic action. Everybody always says, if you tried your best, that's all that matters. The best is all you can do. If you tried your best, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you lose if you tried your best. Most people have heard that before. But there is a secret to the universe that most don't know. If you actually try your best, you can't lose. Not pretend to try your best, not try your best 90% of the time, not try your best with excuses. If you genuinely try your best all of the time, all day, every day, it's impossible to lose. So when people say, if you tried your best, it's okay to lose, that is a logic fail. Because if you lost, you didn't try your best in the first place. If you actually try your best, it is impossible to fail in this life. God is watching and he rewards those who want it the most. If you want it the most, you can have it. It's a competition. Every dollar you want, the house you want, the car you want, other people want, you have to win. You have to want it the most and genuinely do your best, because most people aren't capable of doing their best anymore. To get up every day, whether they feel like it or not, and perform regardless. That is the secret. You cannot fail if you try your best. So if you don't have the car you want, the woman you want, the relationship you want, the friends you want, the house you want, you haven't been trying your best. Because I guarantee you the second you do, you'll have all of it. Every single one. I read a lot of emails. I got a lot of emails, a lot of messages, and a lot of people like, bro, I'm trying my best. And my answer is simply, no, you're not. I really don't think they're trying their best. Maybe I come across and I seem non-sympathetic, but I'm from a council estate in Luton. I'm now a billionaire. And it's because I actually tried my best. What's funny is this. If you were to take somebody who says, I'm doing my best, I'm really trying, and you were to get an exact schedule of their last week and find all the times they've wasted time, you'd say, look, you've wasted time, wasted time, wasted time, wasted time. You know what's actually amazing? Most of those people are not even self-reflective enough to go, you're right, I'm not trying my best. You know what they'd say? Well, I have to rest sometimes. I have to have a social life. They'd be so arrogant because they're arrogant.
I had to do my Facebook.
Yeah. No matter, you'd even show them, here's where you fucked up. Well, I have to, you're crazy. And then they go back to being a loser. That's the amazing thing about losers. You can drag them to the water, but they won't drink it. It's beautiful.
They always feel like they're doing everything, rather than like a successful person feels like they're not doing enough.
You nailed it. They have no self-accountability. And you're right. A lazy person thinks he's working too hard, and a successful person thinks he isn't working hard enough. And we're doing 20 times the work they are. And we're like, I could have done more, could have done this. I missed that today. Can't miss that again. I should have taken that call. I should have flown there. I should have. We have guilt about it. They don't give a solitary fuck. And even if you pointed it out to them, they'd sit there and go, oh yeah, and they'd make some excuse for it.
I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill.
You have to love the chaos. You have to love the war. You have to love the idea of all the constant problems that you have to fix. You have to love being the center of a mini universe you have created, and it's going to implode under its own gravity if you're not there doing constant Aikido. If you're looking for calm and peace, you won't matter. I actually said this before. People were talking about how do you decide or how do you know if someone's going to be monumentally successful in the world? And then everyone knows, because there's been large studies on it, that IQ level is not how you dictate it. And I'll tell you how you dictate it. Somebody's tolerance to stress. The better you are at dealing with stress, the more successful you will be, because as you climb up the ladder, the stress level increases. It is a direct positive correlation between success and stress. They go together. There's no light without dark. The more money you're paid, the more important you are, the bigger your problems. They said it, more money, more problems. It goes together. I'm not complaining because I'm prepared to handle those problems. But as you get bigger and larger and larger and larger, the pressure is heavier and heavier. So I'm going deeper in the ocean. As you go deeper in the ocean of success, the pressure around you gets stronger. Only the strongest submarines can make it to the bottom.
I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. Yeah. When someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. It's all over now, right? You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important. Provide, protect. And we're also here to do important things, and important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated, but that's what gives you purpose. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human.
You have to build your hull, build your skills, build your network, learn Aikido, decide to become the kind of person who adopts as many problems that he can solve as possible. So once they're all solved, he reaps the rewards and builds a fantastically large empire with so much money he can't possibly spend it, internationally renowned and respected. But decide to be the guy who's never had a day off gym for an entire year.
I have psychoanalyzed myself, even though I'm not officially, certified. And I've decided that I can't stop bad things from happening to me. So instead, I'm going to enjoy bad things happening to me. And I'm going to build a mindset that makes me fearsome enough to succeed regardless of how stacked the odds are against me. Yeah. If I measure myself purely on competence and purely on achievement, whatever I think and whatever I'm doing is obviously fantastic. So I'm very happy with the mindset I have. And then we go into the argument, am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to feel good? This is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Afraid every time I fall. Yeah. I fall anyway. Yeah. Like, I don't let fear guide what I'm going to do. I do what I'm supposed to do regardless of how I feel. So I don't see anything wrong with feeling fearful. I don't see anything wrong with feeling stressed or under pressure. I think that you get a whole bunch done with these negative connotations and negative emotions. And I think that life is suffering and pain, and you're here to go through it. And the sooner you get used to the taste, the more successful you're going to be. I have no interest in trying to change the flavor, my friend. The flavor of life is pain, and I will eat all of it.
You know, I haven't had a rest day from the gym in years. Every day I train. Every day. People talk about how your muscles don't grow unless you're resting. I don't care. I go every day because I go to teach myself a lesson, and I don't want to go, and it's boring, and I'm busy, and every single day I still go. So I learn about discipline and pain and suffering. Even at my old age, my long, difficult life, I'm still going to the gym every day to punish myself and show God that I am motivated and disciplined. And no matter what happens, I will not miss a single gym session ever.
I refuse to take a fucking pill, and I refuse to sit and have my mind altered by anything I do not control. I don't care if I have nightmares for the rest of human time. Right. As long as I'm in charge of my mind, I'm in charge of my life. If God decides that I don't need nightmares anymore, I'll fathom out how to stop it. If God decides I need to wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat, fearful or afraid they're coming to get me, then that's God's plan for me, and that's what I'm going to deal with. I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of any of these things. I'm not afraid of feeling bad. I'm not afraid of anxiety. I'm not afraid of panic. This is one of the things I think a lot of men out there struggle with is they're so worried and afraid of bad feelings. And to me, that's just showing that you've had an easy life. Like, there's real people out here who are trying to kill you. There's people out here who put a knife in your neck. You're scared of what? Feeling sad? Who cares? Like, there's real problems. What are you worried about feeling sad for? Who gives a shit?
I can't stand quitters. So if you're the kind of person who's going to quit because it's hard, I don't even want your energy around me, because quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning. Hey, bro, let's get it. And guess what they're going to do at the end? Quit. They ain't never going to have shit.
If you have that kind of mind, if your mind is so fundamentally broken that you cannot do with your own mind what you want to do.
Right.
You know, like that, then you're just fucked, right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. It's so ridiculously easy. You know, Tristan said this. I don't want to take his words, but he's true. You go through life telling everyone you're the baddest motherfucker there is. Sooner or later, someone's going to test you. You walk in the pub and you say, I'm the hardest man there is. Sooner or later, someone's going to fight you. Sooner or later. And life's like that. You want to be the top G and you want to go through life and say, I'm the top G. Then God's going to say, well, we're going to see if you deserve to call yourself the top G or not. We're going to put you in a Romanian jail cell. We're going to leave you there to rot. You're not going to know how long you're in there for. And the biggest mindfuck is I thought I was going to be in there for years. I had no idea. Everyone's telling me years. I thought I was going to be in there for years. So maybe God was just he was watching me and he was having a look and saying, you want to call yourself top G? Let's see. And I like to think I passed that test.
I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. Yeah. And someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. It's all over now, right? You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important. Provide, protect. And we're also here to do important things, and important things are going to be difficult and they're going to be hard and you're going to get frustrated, but that's what gives you purpose. I don't see anyone who's chasing happiness. I think that's a very feminine frame. I understand why some women just want to be happy. I don't know how it feels to be a girl, because I'm not one. But in my experience, I know women who just want to be happy. Yeah. Girls just want to have fun. Fine. But you're a man, right? And if you're a man, then it's absolutely an utterly different experience of life. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. Yeah. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. I think that
It's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. The only emotional state which can be seen as detrimental is feeling nothing at all. But if you're sitting at home and you're feeling truly heartbroken, at least you're feeling something, right? And I think that's the whole part of being human. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to go through pain. I don't understand how many humans function in the world today. I don't get people who don't think like me. I don't understand it. I'm like, well, then how have you survived this long? Life is hard. Life is difficult. Maybe I've just been unlucky, which I don't believe in, but I've had so much trauma and bad events and negativity and stress and all these things that have happened to me. And I've used all of it to be monumentally successful. If I wasn't that way inclined with the workload that God put on my shoulders, I'd just be in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah.
I would have killed myself by now. Like, I don't understand how people are functioning. If you're not thinking like me and you're going through life with any other mindset, you've been extremely fortunate that God smiled on you and allowed you to sit around most of the time doing jack shit. And you have yet to be punished for that.
Yeah.
I could never have lived that life. If I was a bit lazy or a bit, or I was a bit of a snake, or if I lied to people, I'd be dead by now. Yeah. Like, so a lot of these people are just absolutely and utterly blessed by God that they managed to go through life with such a non-competitive mindset and they still breathing. Like, I don't understand how people can think any other way. Yeah. I've spoken to dudes and like, I had a bad couple months. Why? My girl left me. You've wasted months. You've wasted months over some. Like, you had think of how much God loves you to have given you the grace and given you the opportunity to waste months of human time over some chick. Like, talk about blessed head to toe. If I waste months, empires are going to collapse. I'm going to end up in a cell or dead if I waste months. I have things to do every single day. I can't waste a second. Like, these people are just absolutely infinitely blessed. And their mindset is a product of that because they're spoiled children. Absolutely spoiled children. If you're going through life with any other mindset besides a hyper competitive one, where you are capable of competing with some of the most dangerous men on the planet in all their forms, me and my network, and also my competitors. If you don't have that mindset, then you have to understand that you are spoiled. Yeah. You're spoiled by your reality because there's a whole bunch of people out here daily who fail. There are men out here who fail daily and they have yet to feel the true consequence for it. They fail to go to the gym when they know they should have gone to the gym. They fail because they forgot their keys and it took them 10 minutes to find them. They fail because they replied to a question they got sent on WhatsApp the wrong way. They fail because they didn't smile when they were supposed to. They didn't say please and thank you to that person who helped them. They fail because they didn't say hi to that girl who's looking at them out the corner of their eye. They just fail perpetually. They go through life missing every opportunity and just failing. And somehow we've built a society which is so soft and God is so giving and so graceful that they still have a place to eat and somewhere to sleep, and they're still surviving. That shows how nice God is. Yeah. Because before this society, truthfully, if you were that level of failure, you would be dead.
Survival of the fittest.
It's survival of the fittest. And none of these men out here are fit. No. Their mindset isn't fit. Their reality isn't fit. They're failures. They're failures. Yeah. And they're just failing every single day. I'm like, oh, but you know what? Tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Yeah. You've been failing your whole life. That's all you've done is fail. And then you sit and wonder why people like me absolutely and utterly outcompete you. It is so easy to become a top tier male in the world today because the competition is so ridiculously low. There are 2% killers like me and everybody else amateur, head to toe amateur. They can't even pay attention to anything. They can't try anything. They're amateurs. And it's really mind blowing to me because I've tried with all of my computational power to imagine having a mindset different to mine. And I just can't see a reality worth having. I can't see a reality worth living. I can't see how you're going to build a life worth experiencing if you have any other mindset. I can't see it. Yeah. I've never met somebody with a fantastic life who did not completely and utterly believe in themselves. I've never seen somebody massively succeed and they didn't believe in themselves. Ever. I've never seen somebody who just allows life to happen to them and become blown off course by some sadness, end up doing massively monumental and important things. I've never seen it.
So happen.
It does, and it's never going to happen. If I'm unhappy with something and I'm uncomfortable with something, I fix it.
Yeah.
That's endless motivation, which I don't truly believe in as a concept, but that's endless fuel for the fire.
Right.
If I was unhappy with something about myself, regardless of what it was, I would be able to take all of that discomfort and turn it into endless energy to get the problem fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
But these people seem to
it's okay to be unhappy.
Yeah. Well, these people seem to sit and say, I'm really unhappy with X, but then stay doing X. So I don't believe they're truly actually unhappy. What you'll notice if you live life long enough is that somebody will sit and say to you, I'm unhappy being a loser. You say, why are you a loser? I just sit at home and play video games 7 days a week. And you're like, okay. And maybe 3 days of the week, they're unhappy doing that. Yeah. And that's the time they email you and that's the time they want to make a change. But 4 days of the week, they don't really, it doesn't really bother them. Yeah, it doesn't really bother them. Because if it bothered them 7 days a week, guess what?
They would fix it.
Correct. Yeah. So I have very little sympathy for people. And that's not because I'm not a nice person, but it's because I've been so hard on myself and I've been through so many things that were difficult, and I've been through so much pain and trauma myself, some of it self-inflicted, some of it given to me by God to make me a better person. But I've been so difficult on myself. It's very hard for me to look at somebody who's refused to be difficult on themselves and see them as my equal or feel sympathy or pity for them. Why would I feel pity for somebody who took the easy route when I took the hardest possible route? Yeah. I took the hardest possible way to be the man I am, and you were too big of a, and now you want me to feel sorry for you? I don't feel sorry for you. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for these people. And, because as a man, you can be anything you decide you want to be. That's the beauty of being a male. You can build your character completely from the ground up, just like a video game. Every single thing about me that people respect, I built. I was not born a world champion kickboxer. I was not born this intelligent or, intellectual. I was not born this rich. I was not born this strong. I was not born this confident. I was not born this interesting. I was not born this charismatic and humble and gorgeous and tall and strong and sexy. I was not born none of these things. I became these things myself. So I deserve all the spoils of war. And anybody who decides they don't want to work hard enough to become those things, then they deserve to sit and accept they're my inferior. Yeah. That's their problem. I don't care how I feel. Yeah. I don't care if I feel happy or sad. It doesn't really affect what I do each day. I do the exact same things. I act the exact same way. I don't care. Yeah. I don't put weight to the significance of the emotion. So I always consider myself a happy person, but if I woke up and I was slightly less happy one day than another, it wouldn't affect anything I do and I wouldn't put any relevance to it. I'm human and that's life. But truthfully, it doesn't matter if it's getting a girl or it's making money or it's getting status. It doesn't matter what it is. As a man, we live in hyper competitive environments. I don't think enough men understand how competitive the world is. If you want a girl, you're competing against other men. You're not the only man who had the idea of getting that girl. There's no girl you're going to see and go, oh, I'll get that girl, and didn't cross anyone else's mind. Everybody else wants her. You have to outcompete other men. You have to be as competitive as possible. You have to be as successful as possible in all realms. You have to be as good looking, as funny, as smart, as spontaneous, as interesting, as charismatic, as rich as possible. You need to try very hard to be your absolute best. And as you become a better man, you'll crack through different tiers of attractiveness, and eventually you get to the top and you'll be able to have any girl you want. But the truth is, I have a lot of guys ask me, similar to your question, a guy will come to me and go, how do I get a girl? I'm like, bro, you're a loser. Yeah, but I know, but how do I get a girl? Well, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. Why are you asking me? It's like saying, how do I win a race with a push bike? You're racing Ferraris. What do you want me to do? Yeah. There's only so much you can do. There's only so hard you can pedal. There's only so many tricks and tips. There's only so many game things you can say, so many pickup lines. If you're a loser, it's going to be very, very difficult, and it's going to get harder and harder. The game is rigged to become harder and harder for men. It's not getting easier. It's going the other way. And if you're going to be on a racetrack and there's going to be Ferraris there, and you're going to be on a pedal bike or in a Nissan, you're going to get smoked. That's the game. You have to up yourself. You have to improve yourself. I'm not going to lie to anybody here and say you don't have to improve yourself. You can stay a loser and get chicks, because you can't.
Tate, can you please explain exactly how to get over a breakup? I just went through a major breakup, and you have never explicitly spoken about the topic.
Sure, I'll talk about it. First things first is that going through a breakup sucks. And every single man out here, no matter what they say, understands how bad it is to go through a breakup and understands what heartbreak's like. It's difficult. It's not easy. I'd actually like to argue that men feel more heartbroken than women. I think that's
facts.
I think it's true. And I think it's because, one, of the possessive element that we have, the idea of her being with someone else hurts more than the idea of you being with someone else to her. And secondly, because you have a lot less options than she has instantly. So I think that breakups are worse for men than they are for women. And I understand how difficult and hard they can be. However, unfortunately, the unfortunate reality is that chasing her and being dedicated to her and saying you're going to do whatever she wants, etc., is very unlikely to work.
When I get a message from whoever and he goes, my wife left me, I'm devastated. I say, I understand. I completely understand how hard it can be to lose a woman that you've given your entire life to. And you've done so many nice things. And then because of one thing you did, Her innate and absolutely insane level of ungratefulness has turned her bitter, and she now talks to you like she hates you over one thing you've done after thousands of efforts showing how dedicated you are to her. And even now that you're prepared to die for her, she doesn't give a shit about you. I understand that pain. But my answer is good. It's still good.
When bad things happen to me,
You love it.
I kind of enjoy it. And I think that maybe it's perhaps I just enjoy it for the story. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort. It's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. I'll be very honest with you. Even in jail, my brother and I kept saying, this is probably the best story, one of our best ever stories. That's what life is about to me. And if you were to say to me right now, Andrew, do you want to spend a year living in comfort and flying around the world and sleeping with girls and doing whatever, or do you want to spend a year in a jail in Mongolia? I'd probably choose the jail. Maybe I'm a sadist. Maybe I'm nuts. But for me, it's all about the challenges. It's not about the comforts. That's what I'm interested in. And I want to have stories to die with.
Life, the purpose of it is to learn, and it is to struggle, and it is to suffer. And I don't think that we are put on the planet to be happy. I actually genuinely believe we are put on the planet to learn things and to struggle and to genuinely suffer. I think that life is suffering. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I think that if you want to be any kind of man of caliber, your life needs to be full of suffering. If you don't have that story of pain, you don't have a story at all. It's just the way the world works. You're not going to be a credible man who is respected if you don't have a bunch of pain and problems in your past. If you wake up and you're born as a man and everything goes exactly to the way you want it to, and everything's nice and easy, nobody's going to respect you, and you're not even going to be happy yourself. I believe that also the masculine imperative not only is to give, like we said earlier, but it is to overcome struggle. We look at struggles and we look at problems and we want to overcome them.
When you're truly heartbroken, you can't even sleep, and your mind is constantly preoccupied. And instead of seeing that as a negative, what you need to do is use that as a source of unlimited power. If I was truly heartbroken today, let's imagine, and I could barely sleep, I'd be in better shape than I've ever been. I'd train like a fucking animal. You have to just take the energy inside of you. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted, whether it's heat into light or momentum into friction or however you want to put it, right? Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. And you have to look at that and understand that the sadness inside of you is energy. You can't destroy it, but you can convert it into something else which is constructive. And you just have to suck it up, buttercup, and get over it.
Yeah.
And there's no other way to do it. And obviously having an abundance of women makes that easier. But I wouldn't even put it that way. I'd say if you were with a woman and you lost her and you're now lonely and she's going to be moving on and you're absolutely not heartbroken and you're destroyed inside, I understand how difficult that is. But now you have genuine sadness inside of you, which is unlimited motivation for you to become a fucking beast, become an animal. And by the time you're finished becoming an animal, you won't care anymore. So if you really want to cure yourself, you need to say, I'm going to get a six pack and I'm going to get bigger arms. And by the time my arms are this size and I have a six pack, then I'm going to think about that bitch. And you'll realize you don't give a shit about her anymore.
Think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house or broke or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, when the woman's still sucking dick, the mortgage is paid, dinner's on time. It's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo, little by little, do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. This is it. So it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain.
Anything in the world that makes you happy that you currently have, whether it's a person, whether it's a job, whether it's a scenario, whatever it is, also has the exact inverse capability to make you extremely angry. So you have to accept this about
You're
life.
quite detached, man. You're quite detached from everything that you also own. You say you love it, but at the same time, you're okay with letting go.
Well, that's because I think I have confidence in myself to get it all back. And that's also because I have quite a lot of emotional control. Adult happiness for me is just a lack of absolute sorrow. Like, there's no such thing as cold. There's only a lack of heat. Scientifically, cold doesn't exist. Heat exists, and a lack of heat creates cold. Well, I think it's the same thing with happiness. There's no such thing as happiness. There's just a lack of sorrow. If I'm not grief-stricken, if I'm not sitting here and I'm really devastated, if my family members haven't died, if I'm not bawling my eyes out, if I'm not really struggling, then I'm a happy person because I'm not completely sorrow-filled. But I think a lot of people are somewhere in the middle, and they think because they're not at that giddy, childish happiness, there's something wrong with them. No grown-up adult is supposed to live at the fucking absolute peak of life's great. I'm happy. No one's supposed to live that way. And we're told we're supposed to live that way. And that if you ever feel a little bit sad, there's something wrong with you. That's not true. We're human beings. It's perfectly normal to wake up and be pissed off and be sad or be this or be that, because there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is to sit there and believe that you need to start taking a pill to fix it.
Life as a man is pretty shit, and you're going to feel shit for a pretty large percentage of the time. But you're only going to ever escape that if you just perform regardless. You have to perform when you feel bad. As a man, you can't say, I will perform when I feel good. It doesn't work that way because our heads are too complicated and life's too complicated. There's too much on our shoulders and we have too much stress and too much pressure. Our heads are fucked. You have to be the kind of person who says, I perform regardless. Her revenge on you is instant. Her revenge on you is running, getting on a boat and fucking 5 guys and going out to party and you're sitting at home alone. Her revenge is instant. Your revenge takes a little bit longer, but it is a better revenge overall. It takes, like all good things in life, good things come to those who wait. Good things don't come instantly. Your revenge is going to be using that sadness, using that sorrow to become such an amazing man that she realizes she fucked up. Every single one of my exes realizes they fucked up. There's not a single person who's close to me whose life would be better if I wasn't in it. Every single one of my exes looks and goes, I wish I had top G still now. I just text my boyfriend my problems. He can't fix them, but Andrew fucking could. Yeah. I'm sitting here on economy, Tate's on his jet. I fucked up. And so if you get to take that sadness and sorrow and truly become the man that you know you can become, then your victory comes. It's maybe a little bit delayed, but it's certainly not at least coming. And you should be excited by that. You need to look that there will be a day where she regrets the decision she made. There will be a day where she understands that she fucked up and her life would have been better if she kept me. And I'm going to prove it to her.
If you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And if you listen to podcasts from any of the most interesting people on the planet, usually they've had hard, terrible lives. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it because it gave me endless power to become the person I am. If you're truly angry or truly unhappy, then you can't sleep. And if you can't sleep, then you get twice as many hours as everybody else.